Let's talk about a sensitive topic today, and that's how to ask someone to leave your Catholic charity in your will. Super sensitive topic, right? And not an easy thing to do. So how do we go about it? Well, there's actually a Catholic expert in Legacies, and he just wrote a book. It's right here. It's upside down. Why legacies are brilliant for charities and how to get them. So I highly recommend that you get this book. The article, the link is going to be right below. And fantastic, fantastic book. I actually had the privilege of meeting and speaking on the same panel as Richard a few months ago in Rome for the Catholic Fundraising Conference. And so I was presenting my approach to Catholic fundraising, and he was presenting his approach on how to ask for legacies and actually how to get them. He's had over 40 years of experience on legacies. He literally is the genius when it comes to it. It's the only thing he does. He specializes in legacies and he helps charities how to get them, because it is a very sensitive topic, and if you do it incorrectly, it's just going to be very, very difficult. It's just a difficult topic, and he actually likes it. He likes to help people, and he's written a book that I've read, I've reviewed. I've written an article about it. The link is below. And in this short little video, I'm just going to walk you through the 7 steps that I think are going to help you the most. But before I do that, just make sure that you hit that subscribe button. It's like right there. It's right there for YouTube. It's simply to keep you in touch with the weekly videos that I send every Thursday. Every Thursday, I'm sending a video, posting a video to help you fundraise better. That way, it just keeps the momentum going. And as well, make sure that you visit CatholicFundraiser.net, download the free ebook, The 10 Commandments to Catholic Fundraising. Yes, 10 things that I think you should be doing, every Catholic should be doing when it comes to fundraising. How to stay focused, how to keep the momentum, and how to ask correctly. Yes, there is a right way, and there is a Catholic way to asking. So let's dive in the 7 ways to ask for a legacy. First step is to have a vision for your legacies. You can't just say, please leave us in your will. Richard explains that's too bland, it's not specific, and it's not inspiring, and anyone can use it. So literally, what's the difference between you saying that and pretty much every other Catholic organization? So you have to have a vision that speaks specifically to that. I have a thing called Catholic Fundraiser Bootcamp where I break down how to do a vision in depth. I'm not going to go into it in this video, but have something that's very, very unique that nobody else can use, and it's inspirational. So that's step 1. Step 2 is do an indirect ask, as opposed to asking directly, hey, please just leave us in your will. What you really want to do is you want to provide people the information about how to do it. So it's simply saying, if you're interested in leaving us in your will, this is how you do it. And Richard explains this is the best approach, so it's a little different than normal fundraising, and he acknowledges it. But after interviewing, I think it's about 26,000 people in focus groups, he found over and over and over again, this is the best way to approach people on the sensitive topic about leaving you in their will. So, indirect approach. The third step is to have your communications be less formal and more upbeat, positive, and definitely telling a story. So you want to find either someone who's benefited from your charity or someone who's possibly has already left, putting you in their will. And you just want them to share the story about how they've been inspired by what you're doing and why they've put you in their will. Or talk about somebody that's been impacted by what you're doing and just share the story about how you've transformed their life and that you're inspired by your work moving forward because other people need it as well. So be inspirational and be less formal. Step 4 is promote your legacy documentation, your campaign, your information year-round. That's the best way of doing it. So if you have an anniversary, if you've just had some big success on what you're trying to accomplish, if it's seasonal, find some reason to just let people know. Again, it's the indirect ask, but do it year round. So don't just focus on promoting it, saying, hey, we're going to have a big push for a campaign on legacies. Richard explains, don't do that. Really try and promote your information on a legacy year round, and you're going to get better results. Step 5 is you want to structure your campaign a specific way. I've written it down in my article. I'm going to read to you exactly what I wrote. I recommend going to my website and getting the full dose. But your campaign, your legacy campaign, should be structured as such. Number 1, you should have a summary of the charitable outcomes and finances, and make this into infographics. Don't bore people with the numbers and list them out as if they're reading an income statement. Have infographics that tell a story about what you're doing, the impact that you're having, and all the successes that you've had. Make it fun, and make the story be able to be read quite quickly with pictures. Then you want a one-page that describes, look at what we've done together. This is very important. Richard explains that you want to show people the collaboration between you and their generosity. So instead of saying, look at what we've done, as if just yourself, but you look at what we've done together. That's very, very important. And then you want to include your legacy vision, which pretty much says in a specific way how somebody leaving you in their legacy is going to help further the mission, but specific to what you're doing. And then last, make sure you provide a way to take action. Either you have your contact information. Richard in his book goes into detail about how you actually provide this, and then how to, along with the words, to include in your will. Again, Richard goes into specific details in his book on how to do this. Step 6 is to actually segment your audience. And the reason Richard says to segment, which means to find specific groups of people, is that he's found in his research, and the guy has done lots of research. He's been doing this stuff for about 30, 40 years. He bases everything on facts. And he's found that on average, a direct mail campaign for legacies has about a 0.5% result rate. That's 0.5. That's less than 1%. That means 99.5% of the people that you've asked have said no. And Richard says this is very dangerous because you're actually pulling people away. So you don't want to just direct mail people. What you want to do is you want to segment into the right types of people. And the right types of people are people who have been faithful supporters. They could be major donors. They could be what Richard calls eventers. They like to go to events. They're included, they know about you. And so those are the people that you want to meet, greet, share with them the information about your legacy campaign and the information on how to take action. And last, the 7th step, and Richard says this is very, very important, is simply listen to people. You just listen to what your donors have to say. And when you hear whether they're 55, 65, 75, or 85, people are thinking about this stuff. And more importantly is people are very savvy with what they're doing with their money. And we have to recognize that they have different things that they want to do. They want to give money to their children, even to their grandchildren. They're living longer. And so they're really planning out their lives, and they're figuring out, where is my money best spent? And so you just want to listen and to take to heart where they are in their life, and find those people that are interested in giving legacies and provide them the information to make that decision themselves. If you enjoyed this video on fundraising, make sure to subscribe. Right over there, it's going to be somewhere. Also, if you just enjoyed the scenic views of Catholicism in France, make sure to subscribe as well. And just follow me along on learning how to fundraise and seeing the beauty of Catholicism in the south of France. Cheers. Santé.